guys, good morning. Welcome back to Everyday Struggle. I'm Nadeska here with DJ Akademiks, Wayno, and today we have a very special guest, Quentin Miller, on Everyday Struggle.
From the OVO sweatshop, man. I'm glad to have this guy here.
Getting right at it.
Good morning,
man.
man.
How are you?
What's going on?
Quentin Miller.
Yeah.
Quentin.
Thanks for coming up.
Okay, we do that.
I just gotta start off top.
Huh?
Why'd you block me on Twitter like, yo, he's the first rapper to block me, and he said I cyberbullied him.
He did.
Akademiks cyberbullied somebody.
All right, so let me tell you exactly what happened. So I had just got into my car accident. I'm sitting.
Oh, that was after?
Literally.
Oh, okay.
I'm sitting
Asshole.
in the bed, like can't move, right? And then Views drops, and you send a tweet out like, I bet Quentin Miller's mad he missed out on Views. And at the time, it was just like, bro, if you had any idea what the fuck I'm going through, can I cuss?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, what, man? Like, what is the point? And then, like, all the stuff you do about, like, oh, his voice is so raspy. Da, da, da. I seen you talk to Jeezy and you ain't say shit about his raspy voice. Like, what's the rasp level? Like, is this like, it's a certain level of rasp where you can, where it's cool and then
well,
it's
actually,
like,
it wasn't really raspy. Like, this raspy and monotone. I've always said you're monotone. Like,
what is fabulous?
But listen, when you're writing tracks for other people, so when I hear other people perform the tracks better and I'm hearing your voice, I'm like, this nigga's not doing it good enough. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It just sounds monotone.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I mean, I don't know how you feel about it. You probably think you deliver it like how you should, but I don't know, as a fan, it don't really sit right with me.
No, not to fabulous too. I didn't mean it. I was just using him as an example.
But yo, are you doing
And a lot of stuff you
first
do
of all?
too, like in relation to Fab and Jeezy, we're using as comparison. You kind of have a little melody with your shit, and the monotone delivery don't really help.
So is monotone on QM?
Yeah, your whole delivery is
Straight from
monotone.
the basement.
That's the best you try to pay.
What are you talking about, bro?
That's the most you try.
Like what?
That's the most you try to not make it monotone, but the most.
But
the song we just listened to right before, and I said, if this shit was on Scorpion, it'd be a banger.
But look, Ak, you said, wait,
Bank was more monotone than anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That is like your thing, right? It's kind of like that monotone flow. However, that's why you were getting that knock. It's not only me that was saying it, right? When people heard Drake record those songs that you made, right? People like, damn, it brought life to it. And honestly, that was a knock against you because I remember tweeting out, and you probably don't remember this. I was like, if this nigga been writing all Drake tracks when the reference tracks came out, I said, if this nigga been doing it, I just found my favorite new rapper. But then I heard, you had another track out, it was just you at the time, and I was like, damn, he sound kind of monotone though. He's not really delivering it how I would want him to deliver it, but I can hear the cleverness.
That nice of a tone. You ripped me to shreds.
No, that's yours. That's what I said.
Then
if you go back to my tweets,
before I
just
dropped
me.
the Destiny freestyle, you hit the whole Quentin's about to spill the tea shit. How did you feel when you heard Destiny freestyle and realized I wasn't dissing anybody or being disrespectful? So that whole thing that you did.
Honestly, okay.
Was kind of a waste.
Okay. Well, we got to give the viewers.
Yo, should we give you guys, like, I feel like
I'm sorry.
First of all, we have to specify the time because the fans might be like, what the fuck is a Destiny freestyle? No disrespect intended, right?
Yeah, that's
but
cool.
It was around the time Drake Pusha, right? Mm-hmm. Then your name was mentioned in Duppy freestyle, right? By the way, we got to talk about that. But you strategically, all of a sudden, I got to get something off my chest like you've been holding something for years. Clearly, anybody with a fucking brain is going to think, yeah, he's going to talk about what Pusha just dissed Drake about, which is
But when you found out
having a ghostwriter.
how come you didn't do a video saying, you know what, I thought Quentin was going to be on this, and he wasn't? What happened to that?
I threw up a snippet of it. I threw up a snippet of it.
Of the Destiny?
Yes. I threw it up on the gram.
You did?
Yes.
It's like a backtrack.
So you feel like he's been going out of his way to attack you and act you feel like what you've just been doing your journalism
no, man,
here?
Listen, man, Quentin Miller is the first rapper a blogger has successfully cyberbullied. I just don't know. I don't know.
What do you mean? You know how it is. Whenever you go after someone, your fans go on the attack. It's happened to me. It happens.
And he had a pretty big platform. And when you're telling people, Quentin is trash, his voice is
I ain't saying
monotone.
trash.
You did?
You did. You got clever bars. Your voice is trash. Bro.
You point that out. You put that message
But are you
out
saying
there.
that because you're always thinking about him in the context of Drake? Like if you'd heard him just by himself without all of that, would you be that biased?
That fucked it up.
Well, wait a second. Because what I wanted to say was when you said his voice was monotone, you said it in reference to a reference track. When you're doing a reference track, you're not supposed to do it how you would do it for yourself.
Exactly.
It's called a reference.
No, exactly. And for example, I'll compare reference tracks. It's crazy that we're over here comparing reference tracks. OVO Sweatshop, man, there's some good shit in there. But Party Next Door, he has reference tracks that Drake supposedly has used. And he sounds very like monotone. Actually, most of those don't even sound like he records it on his phone. But that's a reference track, I get it. My criticisms of you didn't come until I heard your solo songs. When I heard your solo songs, and I was like, these don't sound like he's like owning it. But there's clever lines and I could hear the melody there. So I could get why, if you wrote those songs, which you did, right? Drake sees like these songs are fucking bangers. Like we were listening to Bank before the show started. It's a fucking banger. I think if you vocally, you executed a little bit better, I think it would have been a banger.
Okay.
But I could tell like it has a potential. And you dropped a song called Potential. Because you know you got potential, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah, man.
Way to button that one up.
No, and listen, the thing, and I would hope he knows this now, any critique I've had of him is not from a place of I don't listen. I was listening to all his shit. When I found out who Quentin Miller was from that Meek tweet, everything he put out, every note he typed up or whatever, I looked at.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to know who this guy was.
We do want to know who you are, so we're going to talk more about all of
because I
the
wanna
beef,
find my
but
favorite
like,
rapper.
what about your life
Yo,
before the beef? Like, you were signed
Nigga,
to
man.
Epic Records. Clearly, you were pursuing a career on your own. Who was
Yeah.
Quentin before all of this shit happened?
Okay, so when I was maybe like 16, 15, whatever, like I went to church with this producer. He's on my album actually. His name is Sounds, and he was signed to Usher at the time. He produced Throw Some Mo for Ray Shrimmer. He's got a nice little catalog, you know. He brought me into the game. Like I started working at Usher's house, and then he started working with Tricky Stewart and The Dream, and he brought me over there. And like, man, I was there. I watched Dream make Fancy in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Like, during that time, I remember people don't even know, like, you know, when Diddy was working on Last Train to Paris, I guess he had heard some of my music through Tricky and flew me out for a day. You know, like it's like I kind of stumbled in the game through the back door, you know? And I've been like in rooms that people would die to be in, but it's almost like I skipped a step, because most people, they gotta capture the people first and then they get to that step. But I just like ended up in rooms, it's just like, whoa, you know? And through that situation, through being signed with Trick and them, like I had like a writing session in Toronto, and I met Boy Wonder, and that's how that started. But then after that, then I got dropped. They dropped me, and
Right after the beef?
Huh? No.
Oh, okay.
After meeting like
Okay,
Wonder and all that
Wait,
other
who
stuff.
dropped you? Did Tricky and them drop you? Or?
Tricky and Epic and them dropped
But how
me.
come? Were you, and at that point again, were you trying to put out music, or were you just helping other people write?
No, I was an artist as well. I was dropped for some political reasons. It was a guy that worked at Epic Records at the time, who's no longer employed, and he was like, "Oh, you're." At the time, yeah. At the time, he was,
What's his name?
I ain't saying his name. He's nobody. Yeah. But I guess at the time people were dressing more flashy and stuff, and so he was like, "Man, yo, we need to take you shopping, man. Like you ain't no star. Like, you don't dress like a star." And I'm like, "Man, I'm just me." You know what I'm saying? Like, so I had this session with Mike Will, right? And so I'm working with Mike Will, and bro brought me out. He was the president of A&Rs at the time. And he was just like, "Yo, I just feel like you just a fan of Mike Will cause you from Atlanta." And I was like, "Bro, can you lead the session, bro? Let me do my thing." And he was like, "So you kicking the president of A&Rs out of your session?" I was like, "Okay." Next day I was sent home, and I was working minimum wage.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Warehouses and Targets and
That's when you worked at Kroger?
Publix.
Oh.
Publix.
They make good subs. Their
Wait,
bakery is amazing.
Is that
Kroger just rhyme better?
I never heard of Publix.
Yeah, it's southern and it's upstate, like upstate
I
New
guess-
York as well.
Okay.
I didn't even rhyme with the bar. I don't even know. Maybe he just forgot,
He forgot that.
Hold on. Can we get to some of these details, right?
Okay.
Because, of course, along that way, and you could probably tell us how you got connected to Drake, but his account, right, of you working with him, and kind of what you said yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
You said you gave him a couple, or you helped him with a couple V's, right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically, they're trying to say you made him while he was just trying to help you. And back to what I was saying about a song being a banger for someone else, but maybe not for you, I think he also confirms it on the same song, which is a Duppy freestyle I'm talking about, when he said, if all these people made me hits, but ain't got no hits, look like they need me more than I need them. And essentially, that could apply to you.
It's crazy too, because I feel like the way that whole thing played out, I just feel like, you know, I wasn't in control of, you know, how everybody moved on the situation. I just feel like people, just my opinion, kind of allowed a narrative to become concrete with people instead of, you know, I feel like, you know, if we would have jumped on it a little earlier, you know, and, you know, kind of explained what it was, it wouldn't have been as much of a big deal as it was. But it's just the fact that it went on so long and people were able to just speculate on how it was and what it was. And then next thing you know, now every time Drake drop a project, people tweet me like, good job, Quentin Miller. You snapped on Scorpion and shit. Like, bro, I don't want that nigga credit. I don't want none of his shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that man inspired me, he inspired everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I have a question. Was you able to, like, for the reference tracks that you did give, or not even just the reference tracks, because you kind of laid the foundation of how Drake took on the records with the running through the 6 with the woes and all that. Was you able to get publishing on those records?
I mean, everything's taken care of.
We heard you got 5 racks a month, bro. That's what I think Flex said.
Yo, I don't know how. I don't know.
Flex said you were getting paid 5 racks a month.
Who threw this number
on some
out there?
salary shit, which I'm like, damn.
I don't know who threw this number out there, or how this number is out there.
Only reason why I'm asking is because, like, I work in management and I do a lot of different things, and like I deal with like singers, and well, not so much for rappers, but for singers, people, you know, write for like certain singers I work with, and I always wondered, like, because I seen so many stories prior to yours where people were like giving ideas and then not that they not credited, because for me personally, I don't give a damn if a person wrote my name on a piece of paper, as long as business is handled. You know what I mean? So I always wondered, like, what was that like for you? Because in the midst of all of that, everybody tried to make you seem like a enemy.
They did, man.
All, like, you know.
They did.
So I wanted to know if you in that point, what keeps your mindset together? Is it having your business right, or is it like, I'm gonna just figure this out at the tail end of whatever comes out of this?
Like, in reference to
basically, you got publishing or not, bro? Like,
no, he said that as a business handle, but I'm saying what helped you through that? Like, what helped you through all of that shit? For me, I was saying that, like, it would be me making sure that my business was handled where I wouldn't really.
I mean, yeah, you know, the business, but I mean, I'm truly an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's like the one thing I can control. You know, like the one thing in my life from when I had my first deal to getting dropped to, you know, the Drake situation to anything, one thing I've noticed is as long as I'm creating, then I create opportunities, you know, so, you know, I just kind of just, you know, of course, you know, the business, like I said, everything's taken care of, but, you know, just moving forward, all I can do is just keep doing me. I'm just hoping that after a while of, you know, building up a catalog of strong projects and stuff, people will say, you know what, you know,
he can do this on his own. How has all of the beefing affected your business?
Man, it's so weird, man. It's really weird, like, cause I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even gonna say no names, but and I get it. It's House of Cards, you know. It's like, you know, people don't know where people stand, and they don't want to be on the wrong side of shit, you know. Like, so I mean.
And yet, you and Pusha are good, right? You guys have a good relationship. He said you have more music coming. How did you guys end up being so tight in the middle of all of this?
I mean, just being 100 after the Meek shit, you know, for obvious reasons, you know, me and OVO had to split ways, you know, so.
Why? I never got that part. Why, though?
I mean, you got to talk to them, but we split ways, you know.
So that was not a conversation, that was a decision.
And again, maybe you can't speak on it, which I hope you could, but did it feel like you were disturbed? Because I felt like you held it down. Like, you held it down like, yo.
I do feel like there's a level.
Basically wrote like a PR statement, like, this nigga wrote everything.
I do feel like there's a level of distrust that came from it, you know.
I heard it's because of drama. I heard drama leaked the reference tracks. I heard, this is also what I've heard. They said drama has you in some type of fucked up deal that prevented some other shit. But I heard a lot of people blaming why OVO didn't fuck with you afterward on DJ Drama. Facts or fiction?
I mean, hands down, it's just a matter of, like, those references just kind of got out, like, the wrong way. It wasn't like.
Did you confront Drama? Like, why you leak them?
It wasn't like, I didn't leak them.
No, I said, did you confront Drama?
Oh.
The story's already out there. Drama leaked them shits, man.
No, I mean.
Because
But you know what it goes back to? Remember the conversation we was having about arming your people with ammo? Like, I don't know if that's true or not, but Drama's from Philly. Meek from Philly. If you know your man need a one-up, you're not gonna give him a one-up?
Yeah, but it fucked up his situation.
But
he's working with OVO and them.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're like the label guy or the guy who's like connected with him, why would you sacrifice your guy just because like your man's is from Philly? You feel me?
You know what's so crazy, bro? It's like in the midst of all that shit, I'm still like a fan, you know, like, and I'm like, me and Drama had like a great relationship. I mean, the way that the shit went down, I mean, you know, we all know or have our assumptions on how things went down. I don't really necessarily want to get into too much detail on that, but, you know, on my end, it wasn't anything malicious. I think like shit just kind of slipped through the cracks, and you know, was what it was. But you know, now it's kind of painted like, you know, oh, Quentin was trying to, I don't know.
Yo, a good story in this industry is always better than the truth. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to tell your story now, or people will forever run with the version that already exists. You know?
Well, one of the versions that exists is did after the Meek thing where in LA you were at the Nike store or whatever, which by the way your account on Vlad TV about that was like amazing. But did you call Drake and Drake told you to be safe in the streets, man? That's what I heard, bro.
Like, where did you hear this from? Where
I could drop names when I want to drop names because you know the people, but these are real stories of people who know you and know Drake and Meek.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting how like these stories go out there. Yeah, I mean,
so it's just a story.
Because I heard, just to keep it 100, I heard the story of you in LA. I heard that months before it happened. I heard there was video.
Yeah.
I heard that if you ever denied it, that video would have came out. You didn't deny it. That's why it never came out. So like, yeah, there's multiple stories that's going around. I'm since we have you here, I'm just asking you for you to say the truth, at least for your account, because I've heard a bunch of stuff, some stuff I haven't said.
So you're asking about the Meek situation?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like
No, not that. I'm saying like, so after that, like, because essentially
you talking about
for Drake, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I heard there was a conversation that happened between you and Drake afterwards. Is that true? Like, what happened?
I mean, me and Drake have had multiple conversations afterwards.
Tense conversations, pleasant conversations.
Like, so you call him like, yo, I just got attacked over some bullshit. What do you say to you?
Who said I called him?
Okay. All right, man. Quentin hit me with a dance move, man. I get you.
Quentin Miller, QM out now, you know? New music out now. Mainly produced by me. I got a Boy Wonder joint on there.
That's dope.
Surprisingly, after you guys' 2K game.
What? Did he say nothing bad about you? Yo, Quentin, man. Quentin's hitting me with inside jokes.
Yeah, boys in the building.
I have no idea, like, what he's talking about. And the audience is, like, thoroughly confused. We got to, like, explain.
How you know what the audience is thinking right now? We ain't even see the comments.
Because, like, you're referencing something that is not, like, the most publicized thing.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
So, like, you have to.
Yeah, you know, sometimes we can have insiders.
Okay.
You know what it is.
All right. No, but anyway, what'd you think about the Drake and Pusha beef, though? Because your name really, and again.
That was weird for me because like I was saying, you know.
think it was a diss or just like, kind of like a line? Because rappers think of things different.
What, from
Pusha's standpoint?
It was written like Nas, but it came from Quentin.
So when it comes to the Drake Pusha thing, I mean, Complex did a timeline on, you know, they history of beefing with each other. So, I mean, I can't really say that like one can't diss the other. I feel like they both kind of been taking shots at each other. Now, when it comes to me in the situation, like I said, after the Meek situation, we separated. I've been out here on my own, building my own relationships, working with whoever. I met Pusha T through Hit Boy, my man. Shout out to Hit Boy, my brother. You know what I'm saying? And when I linked up with him, I told him, like, look, man, I'm trying to do my own thing, you know, whatever. He always respected me, bro, linked me up with all kind of people, like, you know what I'm saying, tried to link me up with booking agents, tried to link me up with management agencies and shit, you know, it's just, you know, it's whatever, but he always, like, showed love. So, I don't know, when it came to that, it was like, I couldn't pick a side because I ain't really spoke to that side in years, and this dude been a good dude to me this whole time. So it's like, at the end
But
of
do you think the OVO team would feel a way about your relationship with Pusha? Like you probably wouldn't be able to be tight with them.
I'm sure they would.
Or even just, well, I was really asking about the line, because like I listened to that line now and I was like, that's not like the biggest diss. Like I guess it's a subtle jab, but like as a rapper, and you know rappers a lot of times they play off certain shit, right? Like a lot of people, when Jay-Z used like Future's son in like a reference to like whatever about kids, like some people say, yo, that's not a diss. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's used as a reference, but it's not like a diss. Yeah. Did you take it like, oh shit, that's
I didn't know how to take it. So when I first heard it, like I heard it on like a clip on Instagram, and I text him. I was like, yo, did you shout me out? And he was just like, yeah, you know, you deserve your credit and whatnot. And then the next day, he did them interviews. And when he did interviews on Breakfast Club, and he didn't say nothing about me deserving my credit. So that's when I hit him. Yeah. Like, damn, you know, I thought it was about me. I thought you were shouting me out, but it really wasn't. You were just using me as a pawn. And then that's when he was like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, but we fixed that, you know what I'm saying? Because he fixed that, he called me and everything. So, like I said, you know, that's like a weird situation.
Trust these industry niggas, man.
Well,
I think learned this lesson
like a weird situation.
Was it him using you as a pawn, or just using it as a clever line to like say something towards Drake?
I don't think when I say pawn, I don't think he meant it like in a like fuck Quentin way. Yeah,
because a pawn is like sacrificial.
But it was kind of like, you know, just something to use, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And which I get you using it, but as Quentin Miller, all I did was bring back an old conversation that I was 3 years away from, you know what I'm saying?
And you said you felt bad about it, right? Because you knew you were trying to get away from it. All right, so the first time you went through it with Drake and Meek, I'm sure that shit caught you off guard. Round two, now with Drake and Pusha, what's it like being in headlines all over again for similar shit? Deal with it easier this time? Well, you dropped an album, so at least you have a handle on it.
It's cool, you know, it has its benefits because, you know, people look at you, but then at the same time, it's just like, man, like, you know, if I say, I'm about to address everything, and I'll get like 150,000 retweets, you know what I'm saying? But then I drop my own shit, and then it's like, I appreciate it because that's what my real fans are. That's the people that really fuck with my music, and you know, shout out to y'all, you know. But like that the Drake beef shit, it just be the hype. Like the first time, you know, I was excited. Man, I worked hard. I put Hey Thanks a Lot 3 together, which got 8 Alive. I had Black Jesus on it. I got fucking Juicy J on it, a bunch of Hit Boy beats, Vic Mensa, Rich the Kid, all kind of shit. Like I went crazy to put that album together, you know? And the shit got, you know, shredded. So, hey man.
What did you score that beef like, you know what I mean, just on a music level? Like the story of Added On versus Duppy Freestyle. Like you just from a rapper's perspective. From a rapper's perspective.
I feel like it's interesting, like the difference in times, right? Because if you compare that to Ether, right? So Nas drops Ether and it's fire, and then Jay drops Super Ugly, and he talks about the condoms and the baby seat and shit, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's too far, bro. You went too far." Nas got it. His shit was elegant. That just goes to show you the difference in times. Because in 2018, Super Ugly wins. Ether wouldn't have won.
Really?
You saying the most aggressive, most off-the-wall, offensive shit, that wins today. Because people have no morals today.
But Ether was super offensive too.
But it wasn't.
But people taking Takeover in like.
Takeover's a better. Like Takeover to me is a better, well put together song. But Ether became like, people say still you got ethered.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Being ether, and that you could be playing basketball, you could be joking, whatever. Yeah. That's a thing, being ethered. Yeah. Now I do get what you're saying, but at the same time, Ether was disrespectful as shit, yo.
It was, but it wasn't. I remember. I'm old enough to remember.
If I'm paraphrasing what you're saying and the difference in times, which I think to some extent you're right? If we look at it in that perspective. Mm-hmm. But are you almost saying that you felt like Duppy Freestyle was pretty elegant and cool?
To me, outside looking in, shout out to Pusha, shout out to Drake. To me, Duppy Freestyle was ether. It sonically, it was a better diss song.
You just hit a nerve, Quentin.
Drake, this nigga back, bro.
But
Nigga back.
But Pusha went super ugly. You know what I'm saying? And in today's time, super ugly wins. I'm not a super ugly guy. I'm super nice.
Hold on. So, you know what though? That's what I was saying to you a lot about the story of Added On. Like, I'm not. It's lyrically, it's definitely not trash. It's pretty good. But the thing that stands out is what's revealed. Like, it's
because
really,
when it comes to Pusha T, lyrically, nothing is ever trash.
was what did it.
Drake, taking nothing from him, he's a great artist. He's gonna be one of the greatest artists ever to do it, whether it's somebody helped him or not. In terms of rapping, he's not a better rapper than Pusha T. That's that lyrical rapper.
I don't think we should go down this road.
Lyrical rapper.
But if we just listen to the two songs, let's not look at each other's like skill set and caliber.
Like
two songs. There's two songs.
Because I feel like they're both great, man.
Yeah, I feel like they're both great too. But it's shit that Drake do that Pusha never do.
And it's shit that Pusha do that Drake don't do. I mean, come on, let's And
that goes for almost every single artist.
Alone, let's not discredit, bro. But at the same time, Drake is Drake,
Absolutely.
So,
but that's the shit. That's like Jay-Z would never make Rewind. Nas' song Rewind. He could never make a song like that. But it's certain songs that Jay made that Nas would never make, right?
But I feel like you're taking two songs and then you're turning.
I'm just talking about as art. I'm just talking about
quantifying their rap skill.
I'm talking about their. Yeah, I'm talking about rap skills because they're not gonna be Drake's legacy and Pusha's legacy is not gonna be determined by just those two things.
Right.
Well, this altercation will be.
You know what's crazy though?
What up?
QM is out now on all
fact.
platforms. Official QM.info, and then you could get merch and shit too.
I wanted to ask you too because like even over the past, real quick, the past 3 years have been kind of, I say like you've had, for me outside looking in, ups and downs, where like you do get noticed and recognized at one point in time, but it's being connected to
at all times.
Yeah, I mean it's being connected to a crazy beef, and then you going through your accident. A lot of different things going on in your life. How is, like I was saying earlier, how have you been able to stay level-headed in this? Because a lot of people wouldn't even want to come on a platform to even speak.
I mean, I'm really big on like, not to sound cryptic and shit, but like, the legacy you leave behind when you go, and, even when after the accident, losing my leg, I'm like, man, I don't want the end of my story to just be me. Oh, I used to, like, nah, I still got my voice.
Right.
As long as I can still hit the block, like I'm gonna get out here because I know the talent level I have. I'm up there, It's really just a matter of just figuring everything else out. And I never had everything else, as far as like infrastructure and a team and all that stuff. I'm putting that together now. I'm trying to get on my Nipsey Hussle wave now. Where you mature and grow up. At first the priority was get off minimum wage. Like I got evicted from my apartment with my newborn baby. I couldn't roll the windows up in my car. We had to put like 2-3 blankets on her as I was driving. All I was thinking about was paying my bills, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I got to that point, you know what I'm saying? So now the next point is like, taking it to the next level, like showing that I belong.
Hey, so interesting thing that Nadeska brought up earlier, right? She said, and because we were discussing the monotone thing, right? She says that pretty much every time I'm really hearing your voice, which kind of may be true. I'm judging it because I've heard other people perform your song, right? If, say we never knew that you wrote for anyone, you come out as QM, right? You drop these songs, and again, they may have not gained the most traction in the world, but they gained some traction, right? Would you have rather that career where you're not attached, even though it's giving you like a buzz and a spike that people want to talk about you, but sometimes for the wrong reason.
Said,
You get me? Like, would you have rather slow grind, never being attached to none of this shit, even possibly never even meeting one of your favorite artists, Drake, and helping him out, but just being your own guy in your own lane? You would rather that?
I'm not gonna lie, I do see the benefits in the slow grind and not being attached to a fucking
just negativity.
A crazy like, what's the word I'm looking for? Crazy thing that happened, fiasco or something, right? Like I look at artists like Gunna or like Jid or Fat Man Key, who ain't attached to nothing. They just make dope music. If you like them, you like them. If you don't, you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like with me, it's like I feel like a lot of times before you even get a chance to decide if you like them, the first question you ask is, do you like Drake? And are you gonna be loyal to Drake? And it's just like, look, guys, it's okay. You can like Quentin Miller and like Drake. You know, like it's, and you can like Meek too.
Right.
It's enough room to like us all, you know?
Knowing that, like, you know, because, you know, for the rest of your life, of course, you'll always be attached to these moments.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think is the next phase of steps for you as an artist to try to get more out there, to try to, you know, because what's done is done. Like, you can't erase none of that shit, but what do you think is, like, the next phases for you as to growing your fan base and all of that?
I just got to keep going, man. I just got to just keep going. And just, I honestly feel like, you know, well, I mean, of course I don't have the answers, but I feel like, you know, after a while of building a strong catalog and just showing strong work that's up there, that competes with, you know, the elite. After a while, you know, how long can you deny me, you know?
So on the album you say something like he could probably still make a mill off a reference. So say this kept going, more beats keep coming and your name just is attached. Would you ever sort of be like, I won't be front facing and drop music? Would you still write? Isn't there a lot of money in ghostwriting?
Well,
or is it too late for that?
I still, you know, when the opportunity, you know, if it makes sense, like, you know, I wrote, you know, some joints with Wiz. I wrote some joints. I've been working with Kelly Rowland. I wrote some joints with Ty Dolla $ign and Jeremiah.
And aren't those good checks if you get your business right?
Yeah. I mean, if you get your business right, you know, those would be good. Those could be good. But you know, it's weird. Like, I was never a writer. I was always an artist. But you know, at the time, like I said, the conditions I was living in, and you know, you get an opportunity like, you know, to work on something like that. Who's gonna turn that down? Especially when you.
How did you guys work though? Like, did you? I heard you guys weren't in the same city. Like, you were in Atlanta. Like, he was in like Toronto. Like, did you guys? How close was it?
It was.
And how do you work with an artist if you're writing?
It was a mixture. It was a mixture. Sometimes we was in different cities. Sometimes we was together.
So you were like writing from their perspective, or you just write you and then they could adopt it however they want? Because you say you're not right. Because
a lot of the times it was me.
I heard Dream wrote a song for Beyonce and like he was writing as a woman, which, you know what I mean, that's, you have to get in that mindset, and obviously he's writing it for her. Yeah. But if you're an artist, it's probably a hard transition, right? To write for somebody else when they're trying to.
It is, and I hate it. I hate that job. Like, that's why I hate that I'm known as the ghostwriter, because people be hitting me and be wanting me to write for them, and I hate it.
You sure? I would just own that and collect all the money.
listen. It's like if it makes sense, it makes sense. Like if there's a vibe, if the, you know, with the artist, if it makes sense, especially financially, then I don't hate it as much. But I hate, like, you know, the writer's life. I've seen it. I know it. Like, I seen writers spend 4-5 hours on one song for the artist to come in and listen to it for 10 seconds and be like, nah. And I hate that. I'm like, man, if I put that much energy into a song, well, fuck you then. I'm gonna use it. You know?
Hey, could you confirm or deny? I heard this too. Because I don't believe this one. I'm not gonna lie. Did Meek ask you to write for him? Because that don't sound believable to me. Like, is that true?
Sips cranberry juice.
Nah, I need an answer, bro. I don't know these little symbols or signals I'm supposed to get.
QM out now.
That's a fact. But did he actually?
On all platforms. Official QM.info. And get merch too.
I'm gonna buy an album. 100%.
Are you gonna?
I'm gonna get Nadeska some shirts.
Oh, dope! I'll rock some shirts. I need shirts. I'm out of clothes.
You gotta pay.
No, I'll pay.
He got it. He with the same shit every day, so he got it.
Are you gonna unblock him?
You should unblock me.
He blocked me on Twitter.
No, I blocked everybody who blocked me back. When I
tried to unblock you
in that conversation.
Yo, if I find that you block me, I gotta give you the same energy. I gotta give you the same energy. In case, like, whatever that made you felt like you had to block me, when you decide to unblock me, know that the energy was returned.
You know, we're a lot alike in a lot of ways, you know. I was in my mama's
Should write
house
for him. He's a rapper now.
and I changed my life at the computer at my mama's house, you know.
Hey, mama's house, man, mama's basement. A lot of good things come from there. Real talk.
A lot of real shit.
So you sip tea. I'm gonna assume the answer. We could whatever. You could kind of guess what it is. How do you think about like I mean? And I hate to I hate to constantly be bringing up Drake, and we got to get into your new album because I do like a couple songs.
Okay.
How do you think about his new album? Because Complex, which why do people think I make Complex lists? They made a list of Drake's top albums, right? And ironically, if you're reading this too late, which I connect you to pretty much the core of that album because I believe that's the sound that really made that album so popular. They ranked it like third, right? And I think Scorpion's below that. Like, how do you think of his new music, and how do you think of his other music? This nigga don't like shit, man. What do you think of his other music other than that particular album that you helped out on, or since you haven't worked with him?
Hey man, I think Drake is living his best life. Keep living your best life.
No, but from an artist perspective, right? Like, well, you listen to the music, you don't judge it, you don't be like,
hey,
yo, this is
shout out to Trap Money Benny, man. #1 song in the country. We've been fucking with you. Hey, thanks a lot 3. Key put you on to everybody. Shout out to Fat Man Key. Shout out to Young Gleesh. You know what I'm saying? Trappin' Benny, he made the whole Trappin' Benny song. Shout out to Trap Money Benny, man. Yeah, but as far as that, man, bro's doing his thing. More success to him. Yeah, he's winning. Everybody knows that. So, yeah, I mean,
I'm guessing you have no thoughts on it.
Good things. He doesn't make bad songs. You know, I can't really think of a bad Drake song, so I really don't.
Tell that guy that.
Nigga, don't listen. Let me tell you something though. Stop doing that shit because guess what? You said a lot of his shit was trash. So stop doing that talk. No, don't do that.
A lot of who
Drake shit was trash. So stop putting that shit on me. That I'm the only person that has a unsatisfactory button with this nigga.
For the majority of the songs.
No. You said that a few of his songs was trash, and then you said it was.
I'm upset it's garbage.
No, all right, no.
I'm upset.
QM out now.
Stop doing that.
On all platforms.
I'm upset it's garbage.
Stop doing
QM is on all platforms.
Sorry, Quentin.
Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer,
What the
Napster.
Hold on.
That's his back?
Yeah. So
LimeWire?
wait.
Niggas don't know about that LimeWire.
LimeWire, right? It's
Mom, don't
everywhere.
fuck up my
Like
download.
now, you're not on a label, right?
Nah.
Would you ever re-sign to a major?
And I'm just saying, like, how do you go about a rollout plan? Why don't you, like, are you that much, like, blackball where you don't want to, like, do you want to sign?
I want the help. Of course, I would love, for a magical agency, one of these magical agencies that be helping these artists out to come in and, help out. But, that's just not the case for me. So until then, it's just me. Like everything that you see happening is me. Like I'm booking my own flights, I'm paying my own studio time, I'm making my own beats. Like shit, half the time I'm like, if I can't get the right beats, I had to teach myself how to make beats. You know what I'm saying? Like so, like it's really just independent. When I say indie, like I'm talking indie, not Chance the Rapper indie. Shout out to Chance the Rapper. No shot, no shade.
Are you like so? You're dead serious. Even there's some A&R that would hit you and say,
no, I have conversations.
Yeah.
They're
just scared to pull a trigger?
It's plenty of conversations. Oh my God, songs with artists, all kinds of shit. I got what? Everybody know me.
But they don't want to sign you?
Is he one hit away? Ak always says this. Sometimes you're just one hit away. What if Quentin Miller caught a Bodak Yellow right now?
No, I think it's a little different for him. Because I'm not going to lie, and this is what I was saying to him before the camera started rolling today. I said, if I ever critique anything or quote-unquote hate, you might call it, I'm informed. I listen to it. Yo, he got a lot of songs that are dope. His current project, Bank is fucking fire. That shit's fire.
Thank you.
Right? High Speed Chase is dope.
Thank you.
What's it, the Coldest?
Cold Day in Hell.
Cold Day in Hell is like you have a lot of dope songs, and I'm now gonna sound like that nigga you won't mention from Epic. Let me twist it around on that axis.
Okay.
Do you feel like maybe you're just missing the intangibles as an artist, right? I guess that guy was trying to say, hey, you need to have that look.
Yeah.
You need to have that kind of bravado. Like you seem like a very chill, regular guy, and maybe that is to your detriment. Even nowadays, weird wins.
Man, on some Kanye, Travis shit, man. Like a lot of the times it really just be funding. Like if I be having so many ideas. It's so much shit that I want to do, you know. Like even Falco last year, you know, my last project, it was all like space themed and shit. I don't know what Travis finna do at Astro World, but I feel like he about to do exactly what I wish I could have did, you know.
It's so funny because he's down in Hawaii now, right? And he has all these rappers, like producers down there with him. And I was curious if you'd ever worked in an environment like that where you all go, you post up, but it sounds like it's been a little bit different. So
yeah, I mean,
maybe you working with the right artists.
I've worked in, you know, like I've worked with Rihanna and them one time. It was me, Rihanna, Hit Boy, Travis Scott. Party Next Door was there. Dream had his own fucking villa on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in.
You really have been in some rooms.
I've been in some rooms. It's
Wow.
crazy. Like I came in the game through the back door. I've been in some crazy rooms. It's just, you know, when it comes to that public side, it's like everybody fucks with me on the private side. Like they'll fuck with me all day. I could get in any room.
But yo, maybe it's like he said, like working to your strengths. You know what I mean? So if you can write great songs, your verses are great, but maybe you need someone crazy energetic on the hook. Maybe you just get the right feature and like you're out of here. You know?
Dude, I had a question for you, cause like, cause you from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Right? And your sound kind of always reminded me somewhat of like Dom Kennedy a bit.
Okay.
Just cause of how your tone with
Shout
your
out to
voice
Dom,
is.
that's the homie.
Yeah, I fuck with Dom.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's the
But
homie.
being from Atlanta and like, you know what the forefront of Atlanta music is kind of, right?
Yeah.
Where does your sound come from? Cause it sounds like a sound that isn't typically coming from there, period.
Yeah, it's cause I was homeschooled. So I was homeschooled, I was in the house all the time. My oldest brother, he's 10 years older than me. He went to Lithonia High. But at the time, Wu-Tang was popping and Hove and, you know, Nas and, you know, the golden era.
The golden era, right.
Right? And so he introduced me to it. Like, that was like my life. It was like, if I got to ride in the car with him to go to the store, then I would hear rap. And I'd be like, oh, if I can figure this out, then when I get in front of girls, they'll think I'm cool because I can rap, you know?
Right.
Like, so that was the initial start of it. And then, you know, my dad put me on to a bunch of old school shit. I really didn't get into the Southern, shit that was around me until I got a little older and started stepping out the house. Then it was like, oh shit, like they not listening to none of this shit.
Right.
They down here like turned up, like it's a whole nother way. So, you know, I had to digest that, you know, and that now I'm kind of like, I like to consider myself, especially like with the last project, I wanted to try to touch on like all bases of hip hop. You know, Bank is like a swag rappy, but then you listen to the source and then that's bars, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then, you know, I got the melodic side, you know, so I guess the generation I grew up in and just the way I grew up, I was able to kind of just absorb
Kind of blend them.
different things, you know. I'm not too old to, you know, do the ignorant shit,
I feel you.
but at the same time, I'm not so young where I don't know all the words to Blueprint.
That you educated in it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because that's the whole thing with me. It's like when I've heard like the songs I have heard from you, I'm like, he don't really sound like, you know what sounding from Atlanta is like.
Look like he's from Atlanta if we want to just keep it
Yeah,
black.
yeah,
Because
facts,
we had this
facts,
like young video of him saying he's the drip god. I paved the way. I got crucified so you guys could dress like all this and you pull up. You don't look like you've been in Atlanta ever.
But what I see with Thug, Thug is a whole new wave. Like I ain't gonna front, like he's a whole new wave of like, because it's not just Atlanta. Like dudes here trying to dress like him. Like in New York,
for sure.
try to dress like him. So it's like, but the thing is that's at the forefront. And like when New York was at the forefront, people wanted to dress like that. Even with Cali, like people wanted to dress like them at certain different points in times to emulate their culture. So that's what I was just curious about, like your sound and how you grew up and where it came from.
For sure, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, man. If I was you, I'd be bitter, man. I would personally be bitter.
Why would you be bitter?
You know why? Because I honestly feel like if certain things, like if artists, they're fucking with you behind the scenes. If they really just supported you on the forefront and embraced you as one of their peers because you've done some good shit and you've helped out or made great records, if they just showed you that support and also helped your shit as you've helped them.
And that's not all, because some do, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a few.
Yeah, I
you
know,
what
like
I'm
you
saying?
get
like Ty Dolla
and
Sign
shit, but
show
like
me love, Jeremiah show me love, like, you know, it's a few, it's not everybody, you know, but there is.
I think it could be more though.
There is that, there's that level, you know,
Niggas will
and
text you when you
I
know
get it,
tryna,
I
like,
get it, you know, I watch
Tweet your shit or
House
like
of
throw it
Cards,
up on the
I
gram.
get it, you know,
right?
like it's politics, you know, like at the end of the day, like why would you want to put yourself on the bad side, you know, of someone that just did $1 billion in a week? You know, I wouldn't want to do it either.
Is it just out of fear, or do you think, like, it's no way he would care if somebody worked with you? Come on now.
No, it's not even that. I don't even think it's like from them.
Yeah. It's just not knowing.
It was one particular situation. I'm not gonna say the name, but it was one particular situation where, like, the guy had posted the song and he deleted the song, and deleted it off of everything. And he was just like, yeah, you know, I don't really know where you stand with bro, and I think we got some joints, and I don't really want to take a chance on.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
yo,
Like
with that cornball shit, I hope that, you know, one day you do get to where you want to be at. Because I hate to see people get counted out, especially for some shit that ultimately is really not your fault. Like you wasn't the person that was like trying to stop anything or jumping in front of or putting shit out to try to diminish this man's career. Nothing. You just got thrown in it. So I hope that where you're trying to go at in life, you get there.
Thank you,
for real.
bro.
Because again, it could take one
Appreciate
song
it,
and all of that energy changes.
Yeah, exactly. Because one
People
record
funny like that.
and everybody be like, man, we always knew you could do it.
Exactly.
We always knew you could do it. We just was waiting for fuck out of here. Right, for real. That shit is
you,
corny.
man.
Because I've been in this game for a long time, and I've had people change on me for situations I was in, and then I'm no longer involved in. Everybody changed, and then when I do this shit again,
I always knew
like I'm
you could
fucking
do it.
great at
I
it,
got
because I
you.
believe I'm great.
Yeah.
When I do this shit again, everybody's like, yo, nah, yo, we knew you was gonna bounce back. Fuck that shit.
Nah, I felt that feeling before.
Yeah. So I said,
I was
this is
dropped
coming
before,
from me.
trust me, yeah.
I hope you know what I mean, you get to where you want to
Man,
be.
thank you,
brother,
bro.
for real.
Appreciate it, man. For real.
Quentin, I'm not really into being like regretful, and I don't think you are either. But if you could do it all again, right? And decisions you made, and you've made many decisions in your life, and some things was beyond your control. But for the things you could have controlled, what would you have done different?
Honestly, man, just being 1,000, like, I don't really.
In terms of your whole career.
I can't really
in terms
say.
of your whole career.
I can't
your
really
whole career.
My
Like,
whole
you know what I
career.
mean? Like maybe you wouldn't have told that nigga like to dip from your session. You never know. I mean, like, do you feel like?
Nah, because that was whack. I mean, and then if it weren't for that and me getting kicked out of it, then, you know, the Drake situation wouldn't have happened, which was, you know, still one of the biggest things in my career.
You don't regret working with him?
With Drake?
Yeah.
Nah. I mean, even with the way the shit went out, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, man, I don't know, bro. Like, accidents was made on both sides. I know on my side, shit, for a fact. I know the 10 bands joint, that was one of the first ones. They said they was fucking with it. I was hype. I called my friends. I just got off work. I'm like, oh shit.
So
bro,
you're still working at Publix to
this
time.
shit about to happen, bro. Like, check this shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hitting my friends and shit. So it's just like some. I mean, sorry, bro. You one of the biggest artists in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey, when you said running through the six, were you talking about Zone 6 or like
everybody
Toronto?
keeps saying it. No, I was talking about the 6.
Nah, bruh, because I'm thinking if my man's
I
writing
thought
these
that
joints
too.
from Atlanta,
No, I
is he really?
I was like-
is he writing? Because I think that also changes the context, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're writing for someone, yeah, I'm gonna write like I'm you. That's what I was saying about Dream and Beyonce, right?
Yeah.
But if you're just, it's a dope thing you created for yourself that he could have adopted, and if it fits, okay, the 6, Zone 6,
Nah,
6
actually,
Toronto.
I was really thinking.
Oh, you were creating for
I
him.
was thinking about Toronto when
Okay,
I
because
thought it
you
was on
know what? A lot of
Atlanta.
people who defended like that whole thing, they were saying,
See, I'm from the A, and in the A, we know what the 6 is. We know Zone 6. Like, man, I mean, you can call wherever your city the 6, but you know,
Yeah.
Zone 6 is gonna be Zone 6, regardless. You know. I was born in Decatur. I was born in Zone 6. I'm really a North Side kid. I'm from where like Migos is from, like Gwinnett County and shit. Like, it's suburban up there. But you know, I spent a little time in Zone 6. I spent a little time in Decatur. I got stripes.
I got
you
cousin-
know
I
what I'm
got family
saying?
in
You
Decatur.
feel me? You saw me on
hold on.
Glenwood.
but yo, how is it even? And I think this is the confusing part for me because like you know, some people they have generic rhymes and generic songs, like they just rap about everything or anything. Like homie be rapping about like his real life, like yo, I met this chick last week. Like, so how could you like even
He
come
puts
up with that
TK,
shit?
that's what editors put when like you don't know what's to come, and then Drake fills in the girls, probably.
Oh, for real though, because
Hold
I
on.
think
I want to know how you come up with them flows, cause there's a lot of flows that you have that I be like, damn, this nigga got some shit. Like you got a lot of different flows. Like, what's your process of how you make them flows?
Yo, honestly, it just be coming from my soul. Sometimes I just like, I don't know. I don't even be knowing what I'm about to
you
do.
freestyle it right.
Sometimes I write, sometimes I freestyle. it just depends. Like it literally just, like I have no control over my creativity. It's so weird. Like and a lot of writer sessions, I be explaining it to people too, because they be like, oh, I want this, and I'm like, yo, I can't control that. I might make a know yourself type song on accident. I'm not even thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, or I might make but it just depends. It really all kind of just comes from my soul.
Got you.
All right, well,
QM
QM
on
is
all
out now.
platforms.
Yeah, check out his
QM is
album
out.
QM.
Did you
It
write
is
the verse
streaming
with
now.
Blessings?
Huh?
You wrote the verse with Blessings, right? Or was it all me?
Come on.
I'm gonna let you get in your last question.
QM
We gotta go
is
soon.
Is
I didn't want to
available
Get him out, rapid
on
fire.
all
That was good.
platforms.
You got
Let me
anything
check
else?
that out.
Come on,
Really
think
write
quick.
that verse?
QM is available on
Yo,
all
Quentin, thank you for
platforms.
coming up. Appreciate you coming
No,
here.
thank you for having
Yo,
me.
Sorry
Quentin,
for all the
unblock
shit
me,
you've been
nigga.
through. Oh yeah, unblock
If you
Act.
unblock me, I'll throw your mixtape
Can you
up.
guys
already unblocked
shake
you.
on it? Shake on it right now.
Did I?
I gotta go to my burner account.
I check your burner
I
account.
had to check my burner account to go look at what this man said, man.
Nah, but keep going, Q. For real,
Yeah,
man. Keep
thanks,
going.
Quentin.
Thank you.
Check out
you.
QM streaming. We see you guys tomorrow, 11 a.m.-ish on Everyday Struggle. Thanks for watching.
Yes, sir.
Definitely you and I.
Come on, give it